A war vet from East Lansing dies, and now police say it's a homicide. Plus, new plans from community members as a controversial group prepares to come to town.
Now, from your local news leader, this is 6 News.
Hundreds of bridges across Michigan need to be repaired, but does the state have the money? A new MDOT study shows there are almost 300 bridges across the state that are labeled as structurally deficient, meaning they need to be worked on. The good news, that number is down from last year. But as 6 News reporter Nick Perot explains, MDOT is running out of money, and some say it's quickly approaching a crisis mode.
Whether you drive over them or under them, thousands of people travel across bridges every day, and with all that travel comes a lot of wear and tear. And the state's latest Department of Transportation study proves it. There are 299 bridges throughout the state labeled as structurally deficient, 7 of them right here in Ingham County.
But what it generally means is that it's either needing repair or it's simply outdated and needs to be updated.
Even though that number is down from last year, Lance Binonimi, who represents roughly 450 contractors who repair those bridges, says the state is in bad shape.
We have the most structurally deficient bridges in the Great Lakes area. We have a higher percentage of our bridges than any other state around us. So we think we're in a crisis mode. Unfortunately, it doesn't get any better.
As a result of the lack in funding, contractors cannot always fully replace a bridge, such as the one behind me on Grand River and Saginaw, so they're forced to do what's known as short-term fixes, and sometimes that means applying what's known as plywood diapers.
If you drive behind a bridge or underneath a bridge and you see plywood underneath that bridge, that adds no structural integrity to that bridge. That plywood, we like to call them plywood diapers, that plywood is merely there to collect concrete from falling on cars as they pass underneath.
A scary but inexpensive and necessary fix that Binonimi says is the state's only option at this point. With more work scheduled in the next 5 years, MDOT can only hope voters will accept an increase in gas tax and vehicle registration fees to help pay for repairs. Repairs that will ensure everyone a safe and smooth ride in the future. In Lansing, Nick Perot, 6 News.
Binonimi says bridge work along 496 and 127 is scheduled for next year, but adds if Michigan does not find funding soon, it could be forced to close its deficient bridges.